Welcome to the deep dive. So, we got this really interesting white paper sent in. It's called Becoming a Lifestyle Entrepreneur as a Gym Owner.
Yeah, I saw that. It looked pretty compelling.
Right. And we thought we absolutely have to dig into this with you all because it's not just your standard run your gym better advice.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
well, it's about designing a life that your gym actually supports.
Exactly. It's a different frame entirely. We're moving beyond just, optimizing class schedules or getting more leads in the door.
Uh-huh.
This dive is really about pulling out the core ideas. What does it actually mean to shift from being, let's say, a traditional gym owner to this lifestyle entrepreneur? And maybe more importantly, what are the practical ways to build a business that gives you, well, more freedom?
Yeah, because that classic image, right? The gym owner working insane hours, basically chained to the place.
Totally. Always there, opening till close.
This paper seems to want to kind of flip that script. It offers this vision where the gym actually empowers your life, not dictates it. So, okay, it kicks off by talking about three different roles: operator, architect, and lifestyle entrepreneur. Let's break those down. What's the deal there?
Okay, so the operator, that's probably where most people start, right? You're hands-on. You're training clients. You're managing the front desk, maybe cleaning the equipment. You're in the day-to-day grind,
Doing all the things.
all the things. Then the paper talks about evolving into the architect. This is where you start to pull back a bit.
Okay.
You're not just doing the work. You're starting to design the systems for how the work gets done, creating processes, maybe standard operating procedures, so things can run smoothly, even if you're not personally overseeing every single task.
Okay. So less doing and more designing the machine.
Well, got it.
Yeah.
Building the engine, like you said earlier, not just constantly shoveling coal into it.
Right.
But then there's this third level, the lifestyle entrepreneur. And
Yeah.
this, I think, is the really key shift the paper focuses on.
Oh,
It's not just about building an efficient business. It's about building a business specifically designed to support the kind of life you actually want to live.
so the life comes first.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're consciously thinking, how can this business model, these revenue streams, these operations, how can they align with my goals for, say, time freedom or location independence or just more personal fulfillment?
That makes a lot of sense. And wow, there's this quote in the paper that just jumps out. If your gym can't function without you being there, you don't own a business, you own a job.
Yeah, that one lands, doesn't it?
It really does. It's maybe a tough pill to swallow, but critical. What does that actually mean for someone listening who maybe feels like, yeah, I own a really demanding job?
Well, the implications are huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
If everything depends on you showing up, on your hours, your direct input,
Mm-hmm.
then you've basically put a ceiling on your income and your freedom.
Mm-hmm. Trading time for money, essentially.
Exactly like an employee, just with more risk, maybe. The whole point of the lifestyle entrepreneur model is to break that direct link, build systems, empower a team, create something that runs effectively without needing you there all the time.
So you can actually step away or focus on bigger things.
Both. Free up your time for strategy, for family, for hobbies, whatever drives you. It's about creating leverage.
Okay, so how do you start? How do you actually design this business around your life? The paper talks about some pretty important self-reflection. What kind of questions should someone be asking themselves?
Yeah, this is foundational. The paper really pushes you to start with the end in mind. Like, seriously ask, what kind of life do I really want this gym to make possible?
Not just more money.
No, much deeper. How many hours, realistically, do I want to work each week? Not how many you have to work now. What do I want to live? How do I want my days to feel? These aren't just, fluffy questions. They become the blueprint.
It sounds like working backward. Define the life first, then build the business to fit. Is that the idea?
That's exactly it. The paper calls it reverse engineering your business. You start by getting crystal clear on your ideal work week, the hours, the days off. You figure out your real income goals. What do you actually need to live that desired life?
Right.
You set firm boundaries. What are you absolutely not willing to do anymore?
Right.
And importantly, what are your passions, both inside the gym and crucially outside of it? That clarity becomes your North Star for decisions.
Okay, vision set, life goals defined. How does that translate into changing the actual gym operations? The paper mentions scalable revenue models. What are some ways a gym can make money without the owner constantly having to be the one delivering the service?
Right. This is where the practical shift happens, moving away from just trading your time for dollars. The paper points to things like online training programs.
Okay, digital stuff.
Yeah, could be custom plans delivered digitally, or maybe more templated programs that can serve a lot more people with less of your direct one-on-one time. Group coaching is another big one.
One to many.
Exactly. Your earning potential per hour goes way up compared to just individual sessions. Both those models let you scale impact and income without needing to be physically present for every single client interaction.
Makes sense. What else? Are there other models mentioned?
Oh, yeah. Membership tiers are a classic example, but used strategically here. Different levels, maybe a premium tier with semi-private coaching or extra perks. This builds that lovely, predictable, recurring revenue.
Mm-hmm.
The paper even floats the idea of licensing or franchising if you've really nailed a unique system. Or something simpler, renting out space to other independent trainers. You're monetizing the asset, the space, not your own labor.
Interesting. Using the space differently.
And don't forget things like branded merchandise or supplements. Those can become nice, relatively passive income streams once set up. The common thread through all of these, automation, predictability, recurring income, that's the goal.
Got it. But to make these scalable things work without you personally running around doing everything, that's where systems come in, right? Automation, delegation. The paper calls it the power of systems. Where should owners focus their energy here?
Absolutely fundamental. The paper calls systems your foundation for freedom. And I think that's spot on. You gotta look at all the repeatable stuff in your gym. Sales is huge.
How so?
Using a CRM, a customer relationship management tool to track leads, setting up automated email sequences to nurture prospects, online scheduling so people can book consultations without calling you directly. All that stuff saves massive amounts of time.
Takes the manual work out of chasing people down.
Totally. Same goes for marketing. Automated email campaigns, scheduling social media posts way in advance, maybe even using some AI tools for content ideas. It keeps your marketing engine running without needing your constant attention.
Okay, so sales and marketing are key areas for automation. What about the day-to-day running of the place?
Billing is critical. Get recurring electronic payments set up. Automate reminders for late payments. Generate financial reports easily. Consistent cash flow without manual chasing. And then, maybe the biggest piece, staff systems.
SOPs and things.
Exactly. Standard operating procedures for everything important. Clear onboarding for new hires so they know what to do from day one. Key performance indicators, KPIs, so everyone knows what success looks like in their role. Good systems mean your team can run the show effectively, even when you're focused elsewhere.
And that leads right into delegation.
Yeah.
Which
Sure.
I imagine can be tough for owners who are used to doing everything themselves. The paper frames it as an investment in freedom. I like that.
It's a crucial mindset shift. It's not just an expense to hire an admin or a social media manager or a salesperson or even a virtual assistant. It's an investment in buying back your most valuable, non-renewable resource, your time.
So you can work on the business, not just in it.
Precisely.
Huh.
Delegate the tasks that don't absolutely require you. Free yourself up for the high-level thinking, the strategy, the vision, and actually living that lifestyle you're building towards.
Okay, systems delegation. That makes sense. The paper also talks a lot about building a brand for passive attraction and conversion. What does that mean in practice for a gym owner? How do you build a brand that kind of works for you?
Yeah, this is about making your gym magnetic. The paper points to a few key things. Authenticity is massive.
Being real.
Totally. Sharing your story, your why, your values. People connect with people. Positioning is also vital. Don't try to be everything to everyone.
Reaching down.
Exactly. Become the absolute best option for a specific type of person or goal. Then there's social proof testimonials, transformation stories, case studies. Let your happy members do the selling for you.
Powerful stuff.
And finally, leverage media. Get interviewed on local podcasts, write guest posts, build a useful YouTube channel, get some PR, expand your reach, and establish yourself as the expert.
So the brand itself starts doing the heavy lifting, building trust, attracting the right people.
That's the idea. Your brand should generate leads almost automatically. It should make the sales process smoother because people already trust you. It should sell without a script, as the paper puts it.
Building on that reach idea, the white paper talks about creating an online ecosystem. What does that look like? Is it just having a website?
It's more interconnected than just a website, though that's definitely your home base, your digital HQ.
Yeah.
Think of it as multiple online assets working together, 204/7.
Okay, like what?
Well, you need lead magnets, valuable freebies like a workout guide or a nutrition checklist that people give you their email address for. That builds your email list.
Which you can then use to connect with people.
Exactly. Nurture those leads, build community, offer value, and eventually make sales offers. An online community, maybe a private Facebook group for members or prospects, builds engagement and belonging. And then think about digital products.
Like online courses.
Yep, or ebooks, workshops, things you create once that can generate income over and over without requiring your direct time for each sale. This whole ecosystem extends your reach way beyond your gym's physical walls.
So it's creating value and connection points online, even for people who aren't members yet or maybe never will be local members.
Precisely. Scalable reach and impact. Now, closely related to that is something else the paper mentions: the self-sustaining power of community and culture within the gym. How does building a strong internal vibe help the owner get more freedom?
Ah, interesting. So not just online community, but the feel inside the actual gym.
Right. Because a strong, positive culture, it kind of manages itself in many ways. When members feel genuinely connected, supported, like they belong to something special, they stick around longer, retention goes up.
Less churn to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They also become your best marketers. They rave about the gym to friends. They post about it online. That's organic growth. Less pressure on you to constantly run ads. And it applies to staff, too. A great culture means happier, more engaged employees who stay longer and perform better.
Makes sense. Less turnover, less time spent hiring and training. What does the paper say actually builds that kind of sticky culture?
It mentions things like celebrating member wins, big and small, public recognition, milestones, having shared language or inside jokes that build identity, running fun events or challenges, implementing referral programs where members are rewarded for bringing friends in.
So making it feel like more than just a place to sweat.
Yeah, exactly, making it feel like a tribe, a community, something people are proud to be part of. That energy reduces your need to micromanage everything.
This all seems to circle back to redefining what success even looks like. The paper makes a point that it's not just about the profit margin.
Absolutely. That's a huge theme. The lifestyle entrepreneur measures success differently. Yes, financials matter, but so does time freedom. Do you actually control your calendar? Emotional health is big too. Is the business energizing you or draining you? Does it feel aligned with your purpose? Are you making the impact you want to make? And geographic flexibility, can you run this business from anywhere? Or does it chain you to one spot?
Those are much broader metrics. It forces you to ask those deeper questions, like the paper suggests. Do I control my day? Is this business truly aligned with my core values?
Exactly. It's about building a business that serves your whole life, not just your bank account. A business that feels good and does good, according to your own definition.
Okay, this is a lot to take in, a big shift in thinking. The white paper does wrap up with a kind of quick guide, a 90-day action plan overview. Can you give us the highlights, just the key phases someone might go through to start this journey?
Sure. It's broken down into 4 main phases over roughly 90 days. Phase 1 is all about clarity.
Getting clear on that vision we talked about.
Yep. Define the ideal lifestyle the business needed to support it, and take an honest look at where you are right now. Phase 2 is simplification.
Cutting.
Kind of. Identifying what's not essential in your current offerings or workload. What can you eliminate, delegate, or start automating? Focus on the core. Phase 3 is leverage.
Putting those scalable ideas into action.
Exactly. Maybe launching your first scalable offer like an online program, starting to build that online ecosystem, your website, lead magnet.
Yep.
And crucially, developing those standard operating procedures, the SOPs, for your key systems.
Building the foundation.
Right. And phase 4 is brand and community. This is where you really dial in your niche, start creating consistent content that reflects your brand, and actively work on strengthening that internal gym culture we discussed.
So clarity, simplification, leverage, brand, and community, a step-by-step path to start making changes.
Yeah, it gives a tangible starting point, which is helpful because this can feel overwhelming otherwise.
Definitely. Okay, so if we had to boil down the absolute core message from this whole deep dive into the lifestyle entrepreneur model for gym owners, what would it be?
I think the central idea is, look, you don't have to be trapped in the daily grind forever. It is possible to design a gym business that works for you, not the other way around. It requires being really intentional about your life goals first. Then you have to strategically use systems, automation, and smart delegation. And finally, building a strong brand and a real community. That's what creates the sustainable freedom. It's that shift in identity from operator to architect to true lifestyle entrepreneur.
Yeah, those key takeaways really stick out. Making that jump from doer to designer, building the business backwards from your life goals, finding those revenue streams that don't require your constant time, and just really leaning into automation and letting go through delegation. It's powerful stuff.
It really is. And maybe that leads to a final thought for everyone listening, kind of building on what the paper suggests at the end. Forget the huge overhaul for a second. Just think. Instead of focusing only on the daily tasks, what's one specific thing you could design into your business, starting maybe next week, that would give you just a little bit more leverage? Something that moves you even slightly closer to that ideal lifestyle you mapped out.
Just one small step.
Yeah. Maybe revisit the ideas in the white paper? Or just reflect on our chat today. Which principle really hit home for you? What's one action, however small, you could take to start building not just a better gym, but a better life through your gym? That's the real question to ponder.